what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another movie reaction and commentary. Today, we're going to be hopping back into a film that I've seen years ago for the first time, and that was a wonderful experience, and I'm happy to hop back into it again, and that is called Whiplash. This is something that I am really excited to do a look back into because there's a lot of elements, and I've mentioned this on the Patreon as well too. Just engaging with the community and how I tackle this and what I'm looking for when it comes to filmmaking or just aspects that I think are worthy and just are worth talking about in terms of the commentary. And I think Whiplash is a brilliant example for that in both a physical sense, a technical sense, and a metaphysical sense as well too. Just looking at it from a technical sense, we're going to be looking at the cinematography, the lighting. We're going to be looking at just the editing as well too. Just seeing how elements that are a little bit more behind the scenes or technical that are approached within this film can help build and motivate some of the other aspects of filmmaking that aren't as technical but require that to be just as physical. And for reference, the physical element of this film, I would say that this film is very physical, and what I mean by that is the communication and the language with actors and one another, and how they enter the scene, how they fill up the space, and how they become the space, and how they embody these characters and what they mean. So when it comes to the metaphysical aspects of these filmmaking techniques, similar to how the technicality helped bridge the physical has helped bridging the metaphysical, which is more so the philosophical questions, the themes that have us as the audience, we are left with after the movie are done to ponder and to interpret. And I feel like this film does that wonderfully. So again, this is just like a brief mentioning on what I'm going to be kind of looking into in an oversight. And throughout that, obviously, I'm going to provide some, entertainment and laughs if I find something funny or hilarious. But I think these are really cool for those of you who are a little bit more ambitious with your filmmaking, and not just wanting the entertainment side that usually comes with these reactions, but also to genuinely learn something. And hopefully, even from an entertainment level, you're watching this and you can gain some form of value to better appreciate the bodies of work that people put their passion into. And I hope that it just highlights the importance of storytelling as a whole. That's what this channel is about, and I'm happy to not stray far from that, just to continue embodying that, because it is important. It's one of the reasons why I'm motivated in telling the stories that I want to create and all of that. And it's continuous education and learning throughout this. Even if I am teaching you guys this, I'm still myself learning throughout this process and experience. So yeah, I'm excited to jump into this. Again, I appreciate y'all for all the love and support. If you want to be able to support this channel, the best way to do that in the themes that we just talked about is by checking out the Patreon. You can enjoy uncut versions to these where it's not, sliced up for YouTube, but you can also enjoy all the other things like the early access, the community that we have, the question and answerings that I have with the people on there. It's a really good time. The best way I can describe it is like, walking into the cafeteria and seeing your homies and seeing the people that you can just talk to and be human with. That's what I would kind of relate it to. So if that's something that you're craving for or you're interested in, and a bunch of other things, definitely check out the Patreon. You can also support the channel by leaving a like, comment, and subscribe. And at the end of the day, you don't have to do any of those things. I hope that you can just sit back, relax, get your popcorn and snacks as we hop into Whiplash. Cool thing about this film is that I remember it almost feeling like, it was like 2 hours long. It's not 2 hours long. It's a tight hour and 40-something minute film, which is great. I'm saying that because I think that is just a great length for any movie, really, but especially for what's in this film. You would think that it would be a 2-hour film, but they really cut it down and just hit it perfectly with the time constraint here. It just feels very lean. No fat. Such a great opening. Film openings are so good. They're so good. Such a great technique to just introduce your film to somebody for the first time.
What's your name?
And your name, sir?
What year are
I love that he's coated in this blue, innocent light. The contrast is still very harsh,
So you...
but I feel like the lighting has a lot of
Yes, sir.
Then why did you stop playing?
color direction to it, is the word for it.
Double time swing.
Editing is so good. Wow, it cuts with the music. It matches the movement of his hands, the pacing, which is genius because of music. You know, pacing is everything, but it's also good when you're just trying to guide the direction of an emotion. Another show that we are watching on the channel, in case you guys haven't watched it with me yet, it's also on the Patreon, is The Bear. And I think The Bear and the way that it's approaching its editing and how that works into the emotions within that TV series is such a good comparison laid next to Whiplash, because I feel like they do the same thing.
When you get to be my age, you get perspective.
I don't want perspective.
Ooh, sorry.
I'm telling you, that line hits. It hits. I feel like anybody that has pursued their passion and still pursuing their passion, trust me, you want perspective. It's just something that you have to run into and learn the hard way sometimes. It's worth doing that, though, as long as you accept it. I love the editing, or the choice of lingering on certain shots. So good. They did that previously when he was with that girl in the movie theaters, and she did her smile. Very quick cut, but it lingered just long enough to highlight the importance. And they're doing something similar in that scene. He's clearly longing for something, but there's this passion, there's this fire that's underneath him where he just can't stop. He can't stop.
Well, you're in the first chair. Let's see if it's just because you're cute. 3, 4. Yep, that's why. Drums.
Dude.
Let's,
He's just assassinating people. he's assassinating people's self-esteem.
Can I make it better?
That's classy. I can deal with that.
What I want to say about this scene already, especially when it comes to environment, is just how this place that they're in, it feels like light doesn't get absorbed, It's not like light's able to bounce around. It's baked in this warm tone, but there's something a little bit more mature about this lighting rather than the bluer, innocent lighting. And again, that's just me interpreting, but it is fun to even think of it that way, because again, this film does have color direction. I love that the camera is just always showing their relationship. Always showing their relationship, no matter what. Because the story is in tandem with them, those two specifically. I love that the camera never lets us forget that.
there's no fucking Mars bar down there. What are you looking at? Look up here. Look at me.
He is such a goon, dude. Oh my gosh. There's so much command he just demands from this performance. It's wild. So, going into what I said in the intro and the levels of filmmaking that I want to get into, the technical, the physical, and the metaphysical, this is where the metaphysical really it takes place, because the physicality of this scene is upping. He's getting in people's faces. He's verbally just abusing them. And you start wondering, this metaphysical question is it worth it? And that continues to snowball throughout this film. So we'll bounce back and forth between that at certain points. But I definitely wanted to highlight this because this is a very important scene.
Not quite my tempo. Here we go.
I'm telling you, snowball effect. It's coming. It's coming. It's such a good it's such a good way of cutting this up.
5, 6, Part 17, the and of 4.
Like, you see how the editing is cutting back and forth, but it lingers after that initial cut because it's getting serious and more serious. Crazy. That's crazy. Apparently, nobody in the room knew that was going to happen. Is what one of the people on Patreon told me. That's insane. Holy crap. Chuck that thing like a saucer.
I don't know.
I love how in that moment it cut very close to him. Extreme close up.
4, damn it! Look at me!
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. No.
Again, bridging that physical contact, that physical element of filmmaking. Bringing it with the technical, with these extreme close-ups. Connecting with the metaphysical parts, like, is this worth it? Is this the way to go after your passion? You know, this film, I think that also, you know, the reason why I've only watched it once is because it hits really close to home. I'm not saying that I've been through exactly what this person is going through, but I think anybody that is pursuing a passion, they go through certain cycles, and you constantly have to ask yourself, what am I doing this for? And I don't think you'll have the same answer throughout every stage. It's the best way I can describe it is like being a pendulum going back and forth. At some point, I just had to realize that being in that state of going back and forth, that is the motion. It's not just the extremes of where I'm swinging towards. It's just I have to be present. But that came with the journey. That's why at the beginning I mentioned that line about perspective. It requires you to go through this. You just have to go through it. I'm sorry, y'all. There's no shortcut. Sometimes you just gotta you gotta go through it. If you can make it out, it's a great feeling.
This place is nice.
Great cut. That's a great cut. It's a great way to just kind of showcase like the things he has to deal with. You know, the balance of that. Again, you're still human.
And I am not going to have my reputation in that department tarnished by a bunch of fucking limp dick, sour note, flattered on their girlfriend's flexible tempo dipshit.
Dude, wow. I also love the spotlight that is shining down below. It is so good. I think it complements the contrast. It makes the image just look sharp. There's a certain realism that comes with this pretty cool surrealism attachment. Like I said, the color direction, but also the lighting direction. There's a lot of intention within this film, is what I'm saying. And I'm just trying to highlight it so that way when you're watching it on your own time, you get to see it as well too. Great macro shots. I love the macro shots in here. If you guys don't know what macro shots are, just think of like, you know, a very close shot. It's a very detailed shot. And they're usually made to highlight something if you want to prolong that shot, or if you're trying to make quick cuts and still have the image be very detailed, you primarily would use a macro shot. I love the detailed shots in this. Especially when it's tempoed, the pacing is aligned with the music.
I'm just gonna lay it out there. This is why I don't think that we should be together. And I've thought about it a lot, and...
Crazy cut. Oh my god, the editing just smacks. It doesn't even have to be a fast tempo. It could just be just a very good place to cut to. And it's so well done. Damn, it's heartbreaking.
Get up!
Just the blood on their hands, man.
Down there.
Just the physical
Really? That's been your...
evidence of just pain on their hands. Yeah, that blue light hits different now, doesn't it? It's very cold to the touch. Look at that. It's almost as if the blue is just even bluer. Whereas at the beginning of the film, there was this innocent glow to it. Now there's just this saturation that just is cold to the touch. You can feel it in his soul. Reminds me of Helheim.
Can't? Yeah! When did you become a fucking expert on what I can or cannot do, you fucking weepy willow shit sack?
I earned that part.
Bro, his roasts are just insane. His roasts are crazy. Like, they are personal. And the crazy thing is, he's going off of all adrenaline right now. He's high off of adrenaline. But, dude, again, like, you are human. You are flesh and blood. No matter how many times your mind or whatever tries to gas you up, you can't forget that. I love this underneath shot. Just really just soaking in just how low he feels right now. He's trying his best.
Out of your life. Why would you let him get away with what he did to you?
Would you characterize his conduct as extreme, Andrew? Did he ever intentionally inflict emotional distress?
Wow. Again, bringing up the editing. You know, the fact that we're bouncing back and forth between these moments just, again, shows you that they know how to navigate. They know exactly what this person's feeling and the struggle and the tug of war that's being had. And it's being shown quite literally through the editing. What I want to say is that at a certain point, you stop wanting to become the best at whatever it is that you're doing, and you just want to be the best version of you. You know, trust me, I get it. Again, it's all worth it. It's worth going through the motions, even when you don't have the hindsight. It's worth the pain, as long as you learn and you can hopefully get back to what really matters. You know, what always humbles me is like, what if an asteroid just hits Earth? All right, what? You know, keep it very simple. You know,
Necessity. Otherwise, we're depriving the world of the next Louis Armstrong, the next Charlie Parker.
he's not wrong. Again, like with these type of conversations, I don't think there's like a complete right, a complete wrong, but it's gray. He's not wrong, but his approach was very not right. Because there's also people that are just naturally gifted. That's just life, man.
He practices.
But it's all about your practice. It's all about what you do every day and what your intention is. But you can't do that if you're dead. So
I need somebody who really knows those charts.
What about Ryan Conley?
Or Connolly ever was to me.
wow. I will say, watching this again for the second time and having me think of the final scene, because I really can't wait to talk about it. Whew. This is good. This is good. You know, this film, now watching it for the second time, reminds me of like a Paul Thomas Anderson film, where they just give us glimpses of so many people's perspectives. And I feel like when it gets to the ending, it's almost like a collision of everyone's perspective. We all share this universal experience, and we can all interpret differently from that.
Okay, well, I guess maybe I'll see you guys there.
Whew, I love that we're sitting with him on this. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of thinking. There's a lot of thinking. It's so cool just like seeing this film again. And I'm so happy that they understand what they're creating. That was such a great scene to just hold on. I love that.
No, it was you.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. This is what I mean by the different perspectives, because he's coming in there with a whole different perspective. Our character's coming in there with a whole different perspective, and now we have other people who have been in the movie at this one point. And so we're all sharing this collective experience. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. Get up on that stage, bruh. A lot of people have mentioned that this ending is depressing, you know? And even from the director's notes, he might have he thought that as well too. But I don't know. I have a different take from this now looking at it again. And I would love to discuss it in the discussion part. Let's go, man. That's so cool. Because how I'm seeing it is just him getting back to, first off, it's like an FU to, to the guy, but also him getting back to him when he was like a kid. You know, just doing his own thing. It's almost like reclaiming what he loved, you know, because he hated it. Yeah, I love that. I love that shot right there. Just him slowly being like, damn. Okay, dog. I see you. Again, doesn't justify all the things that he's done. There's no rights, there's no wrongs in this place. There's just a moment. Again, just showing their connection. It's great. It's so good. They do it through so many methods of filmmaking. But I love just being able to have the camera whipping back and forth between them. Yep, this is for him. This for him, fam. This is for him. How I see this is just him going all out despite whatever happens. Just him being in this moment and just doing it. Love it. God, I love the audio that's happening here. Just deafening the noise, almost like putting a blanket over it. And we're just in this moment. It's like everything that we've experienced, everything from the moment we started this film, just accumulating here in this present moment. And as the music starts fading back in, whoo, so good. Yeah, a lot of people have mentioned that look from his father, but I think it's just a look of awe. I think this is just being in awestruck right now. No place else but the present here. Woo! That is so good. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is so good! Yeah! Wow. So good. I love this movie. This movie is so great. Alright, everybody, we just got done rewatching Whiplash. This is everything I said in the intro. I'm so happy I was able to get to every single point and then some. Notice how towards the end, getting towards the resolution of this film, the technicalities and even the physical aspects of filmmaking started to slowly disappear. And that's a good thing, really. And we started focusing more on the nuance, the metaphysical aspects of the themes that evolve around this film. And I feel like that's great because, you know, as someone that is knowledgeable within the craft, but also enjoys themselves being in the audience and witnessing a storytelling. it's great being able to have those anchors kind of drop off after they've built up the story, and I feel like those techniques, especially when it comes to the technical and the physical, are great techniques to build a story. But I think at the end of the day, that the thing that really makes a story memorable or allows you to feel a story is the aspect that comes when the movie's over. The themes that we were kind of grappling with, but didn't say out loud because obviously we're watching a movie, but that build within us while we're experiencing this. And I love that throughout the end here, that's all that we could focus with. That's all that we're left with. And that's all that we get to experience, as this thing builds up. And to get to the ending, because there's so many ways that you can interpret this, which is great. That's why I feel like it's such an incredible experience watching this, and it can relate to a lot of us here. But I've seen comments saying that the ending can be depressing, because of that line that the father said, saying about how you can end up being the best person ever, but what does that mean when you're overdosing on drugs, or you do something terrible to yourself because of the pressure of this? And that's correct. Another thing that can be looked at is the father looking at his kid in awe, because what do you say when your kid is popping off like that? It's pretty incredible. And that could be a correct way of looking at it as well too. There's so many avenues that we can take this, and I feel like the director and the writers and the people that took part of this story left that up for interpretation for a reason. And it's because the fact of the matter is, similar to us in our real lives, we don't know what comes next. We don't know. The only thing we can know is the things that we've experienced and the hindsight that comes with that knowledge, and being able to have all of that and apply it to the present. And now that when I've watched this film, I was still going through this hustle stage. I like this, this like going out and freelancing every day and putting my body into a state of fatigue. I mean, guys, not to get like super graphic, but my lower intestine collapsed because I was working so much, and I was, I would strain my body. Like I remember being on set, and I mean, for crying out loud, I was going to for Thanksgiving, and that was the worst part. I couldn't eat anything for Thanksgiving, but I was coughing up blood. My lower intestine collapsed on me. I felt like an anime character, but I've experienced this, is what I'm saying. And you don't know the knowledge that I know now that I'm older until you continue going, but you have to be mindful. And I remember learning my lesson from that and being more aware with myself and just really reevaluating. And even then, that was prior to me even going to California and that experience. And all I'm saying is that we don't know what happens afterwards. He could have been a successful artist, have kids, gone with Nicole. Maybe Nicole came back with him. The thing is, we don't know what happened. So looking at it from the perspective now where I'm older and I can appreciate the moment in the present, that ending, to me personally, is a very optimistic one. And not even an optimistic one. It's more so in a way where I feel like it's such a win. It's such a win for our main character because of him being able to be present with himself in that moment and to just go all out and to get back to what it really meant for music to him. And that's a win. That's always a win, You could die a year later from things that have no connection to the things that you are pursuing. Life just happens like that. But the one thing that you can control is how you feel within that moment and what you do within that moment. And again, I've went through my own steps to be able to understand that. And that's my depiction on that ending. So I'm happy that I was able to, highlight a little bit more on the nuance of the storytelling. That's a little bit more gray. That doesn't have a right or wrong answer. It's just what you would abstract from it. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have any similar experiences? I would love to know. This film weirdly reminds me of The Devil Wears Prada. I feel like I've watched that on there, the one with Meryl Streep and oh God, I'm forgetting her name, but you guys know who she is. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. This was a really fun second watch. I'm so happy I did that. Felt like I could really give a lot more value to these videos. And as always, stay healthy and stay hydrated, because we are just getting started.
Purple jacket, pocket full of weed. Everything that I should ever need. Grab some matches cause they give them free. Just like my time. Hair pulled back in the backseat.